Tell me where you're
Flanking.
So yeah, Overwatch 2 launched the other day, and like many people, I've decided to jump back into the game and give it a try. Oh. Well, okay then. Anyways, as I was saying, the game's now live, and it's free to play in case anyone was wondering. The servers are currently down for maintenance, and I feel like right now is a great time to get my thoughts out there and just talk about the state of the game. So grab yourself your favorite beverage and sit back while we break everything down. But before we get into the video, I just want to personally thank all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you guys for putting up with all my random messages, and the fact that you guys all decided to give me a shot honestly makes me feel super excited to bring more content and grow this channel with you guys. Overwatch 2 is finally here, and after such a long wait. It's been, what, over 3 years since the first announcement of Overwatch 2 when Daddy Jeff revealed it at BlizzCon?
I am extremely proud and excited to finally and officially announce Overwatch 2.
Speaking of Jeff, man, I really miss that guy. Him and his little stunts like that Christmas livestream or all those awesome videos that Dino Flask made of him. I've seen nearly every big streamer jump on this game, and I think like many other people, we've all just kind of been waiting for the game to come back. I know Overwatch 1 first launched and it blew up so big that since then it literally created a new genre of game, the hero shooter. Now we have Rainbow Six Siege, or the juggernaut right now, Valorant. And to that, it brings us to the first major issue with the game, the queues. Oh god, the queues. I don't know about you guys, but the first day it took me what felt like damn near 3 hours to finally get into my first match. I kept running into this bugged login queue where sometimes it would say there's 0 people ahead of me, and then it would kick me out of the game and I'd have to reconnect. It was rough, but then again, the game's free to play now, so I imagine there's a whole heck of a lot more people playing the game, and all trying to log in at the same time. I know on the first day, people were posting screenshots of sitting in a queue of 30,000 people, and then after a few days, there's still queue times. I've been playing on and off for the last day or so, and each time I log off, I'm stuck in a queue for about 30 minutes, give or take, when I try to get back in. I can only imagine what the queue times are going to be like this weekend, unless Blizzard adds more server stability. Though, to Blizzard's credit, I will say they are at least rolling out hotfixes, and they're coming up pretty quick. It's just frustrating when you still have queue problems like this when they've done this so many times. So yesterday I was running into this one bug where basically the game thinks I'm a brand new account. So all of the progress and basically all the characters in my account were locked, forcing me to either play a small pool of heroes that the free players have access to, or I have to restart my game. And then restarting the game basically means going back to sitting in the queue again for 20 minutes. So yeah, needless to say, it's been pretty rocky of a launch for Overwatch 2, and all over social media, it seems like the game's getting memed on pretty hard. I got guys like Asmongold who don't typically play shooters jumping in and tag teaming on Blizzard. So, rocky start aside, how is Overwatch 2? Oof, yeah, that aged well. Granted, all they did was launch the PvP part of the game. I just think this is a really bad communication problem that Blizzard had, because it feels like everyone knew that this was going to be just a PvP coming out, and of course PvP stuff would be coming later, but I don't know, it just felt like Blizzard should have communicated this better, or they should have at least held back the release of the game so that they could have actually launched it with the new PvE stuff. Because right now you can't really call Overwatch 2 a sequel. So what did they add exactly? As of right now, we have 3 new heroes, the latest being Kiriko, the cute anime fox girl who's a support, Soldier, the DPS who's just a better version of Soldier 76, and of course my waifu, Junker Queen, who's the best character in the game. We've also got 6 new maps, which are all pretty cool, and a new game mode so far that I actually really like. I think this new game mode brings a really cool tug-of-war style feel to the game, and I've enjoyed it so far. They also added 30 new skins and a new mythic skin, but who knows, because this is still kind of like the honeymoon phase. Will I be saying this in a few weeks from now? Who knows? Oh yeah, we can't forget about the Battle Pass, because that's a huge new feature. Gone are the loot boxes of old, and say hello to our new Battle Pass overlords, because in the year of our Lord 2022, you have to have a Battle Pass in your game, otherwise the kids won't play it. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I think when it comes to free-to-play, League of Legends has the best business model. You see something you like, you just flat out buy it. Well, I mean, you buy the game currency, and then you can just buy it with that, but I mean, it's the same idea. I've never really liked battle passes because I typically don't like to focus on just one game unless it's World of Warcraft. And I like to play multiple games, but the problem is, you know, every game nowadays is coming out with a battle pass. And because of that, it's like you never really have a chance to finish out the battle pass for these games because you're just flipping back and forth. It's just a really bad trend that just makes these variety streamers, or I guess variety gamers, suffer because the battle pass is here to stay. So what's with all the PvE content? I remember reading an article saying that the Overwatch team actually planned to release the game with everything in it, but at some point they decided to flip the script and break the game up and release the PvP stuff first, and then slowly release the PvE content later, which I personally think is a huge mistake. Player perception is a fickle thing, and once it's set in, it's very hard to change the mood unless you pull a CD Projekt Red and you drop an insane anime show about your game. So I know this is kind of off topic, but if you guys haven't seen Edgerunners on Netflix yet, you're seriously missing out. It's amazing. But anyways, getting back to my point. So the PvE content is going to be slowly dropped and locked behind the battle pass, more than likely. And you're probably going to have to drop money on it to play. I don't know exactly what the PvE content is going to be like, but what we do know is that there's going to at least be talent trees for each hero in the game, allowing you to drastically change the playstyle of that hero just in the PvE mode. Apparently they're working on a full AAA campaign that's going to be solo or co-op, and there's going to be some kind of endgame PvE mode. I did hear that some people were saying that it's going to be kind of similar to something that you'd find in Vermintide 2, where you and your team are just completing objectives while fighting endless waves of enemies, which to me sounds freaking awesome. There are so many Overwatch fans out there that don't like PvE or are kind of intimidated by competitive games, so a PvE game mode will probably be really awesome, and I think it's going to have a huge influx of players. But the fact that they decided to launch the game and sell it piecemeal worries me. I'm not sure if it was a good decision for them to do for the game, but if it were up to me, I probably would have just waited a year and then kind of released it with everything from the start. I'm also worried that the player perception of the game is going to be negative, because the game was sold as a sequel, and it launched with the same amount of content that you might get from a small patch or DLC. But who knows, we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, the game's got a score of 1.3 on Metacritic, and a lot of those negative reviews are mostly mixed with a combination of people running into queue times, bugs, or just complaining that there just isn't enough of new content in the game. If you take a look at the roadmap they put out recently, it shows that the PvE mode begins in 2023, but they didn't tell us what quarter it's going to be coming. It just sucks that we're going to have to wait for a while for that part of the game to come out. Honestly, I think they should have just said, hey, the game's coming out in early access, or just released the PvP part of the game and called it some kind of open beta where your progress doesn't get reset once, you know, the entire thing comes out. I think that probably would have been a lot better than how they launched the game. There was one more thing that I wanted to cover about the game, and that's the new changes or the balance of the game overall. I don't know about anyone else, but it feels to me like the healers have been severely nerfed. I don't know what it is about them, I really can't put my finger on it, but I just don't have fun playing them anymore. I remember playing Overwatch 1 and I would love playing the healer classes, you know, they were a lot of fun, especially Moira, she was like my main healer. But it seems like I'm not the only one that kind of shares that feeling, because when you look at the queue times for queuing up for the different roles, specifically healers, they're the ones that are always getting bonus experience for the battle pass, indicating that they just don't have a lot of people queuing for it. And then if you actually look at like the times, if you want to queue for a tank, it's usually anywhere from like 3 to 5, sometimes even 8 minutes in competitive. And then, you know, DPS it's like 3 minutes, and then healers it's usually like 1 to 2 minutes. So that's a huge indication that just not a lot of people are playing healers right now. And that makes sense that tanks have probably the longest queue time in the game, because just from playing all the different roles, tanks by far I think are the best experience in the game. I'm having a blast playing Junker Queen and Reinhardt. But overall, everything isn't all doom and gloom. We've seen a number of games that had rocky starts that slowly turned into great games. Just look no further than No Man's Sky. I think once the PvE mode comes out, most people will start to change their opinion on Overwatch 2. But either way, I'm going to keep playing the game because I enjoy Overwatch, and so far I'm liking it. But enough of that, what do you guys think about the game? Are you guys playing it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.